In those days, my gift wasn't just some hobby. It was an instinct, pure impulse guided by an overwhelming desire to see the hypnotic flames reign supreme. Augustus Castillo Flores, prior to his death in government custody. The pyromancer is perhaps the most overt and iconic of the various documented mancer variants. Like the cryomancer, the pyromancer manipulates the concept of heat, though in a way fundamentally opposed to the power of the cryomancer. In specific, the pyromancer can excite matter to the point of conflagration or explosion through a mere exertion of will. Their powers also give them the ability to perceive heat directly, as well as an instinctive resistance to the destructive power of fire. This combination of sheer destructive potential with an effective immunity to its effect leads to a lack of inhibition bordering on mania, and in advanced cases, a strong desire to see the world burn. Remember, Agent, the official stance of the government is that any mancer that cannot be controlled or contained must be destroyed. When dealing with a pyromancer, it is best not to let them see you coming. To them, you are nothing more than kindling and slag. Why is everyone still playing red light, green light? I said, stop, Mommy. Please stop playing. Unknown subject, recorded during the Balto City incident. While the pyromancer represents a sheer force of destructive potential, the cryomancer represents an equal and opposite force of resistance. Those that hunt cryomancers often find themselves lacking for firepower at the critical moment, their target rendering themselves nearly impervious to small arms. They possess the ability to perceive heat and cold, and an instinctual resistance to even the most extreme frigid conditions. Their power manifests in a radius, freezing and incapacitating everything inside that does not share their immunity. Over time, this leads to a cold, detached indifference, safe in the knowledge that nothing they are likely to encounter can harm them. Remember, Agent, the official stance of the government is that any mancer that cannot be controlled or contained must be destroyed. When dealing with a cryomancer, it is best to strike with overwhelming force from extreme range before they are aware of your presence. Any collateral damage from conventional arms is likely to pale in comparison to what a cryomancer will inflict in an attempt to defend themselves. As a child, I wanted to fly. Now I can. What more is there to say? Tamana Sinha, government contracted mancer. The telekinetic is second only to the pyromancer in terms of public imagination. The image of people lifting and throwing objects with their mind, or flying through the air, has an almost unique penetration into the public zeitgeist, conjuring up perverse feelings of freedom and liberation, an attitude shared by most real telekinetics. While telekinesis shares superficial similarities with magnetism in that both allow for the remote manipulation of material objects, they are separated by sheer scale. If you find part of a building flying through the air towards your head, the culprit is almost certainly a telekinetic, not a magneticist. Perhaps the least considered, but most dangerous, aspect of telekinesis is its unique perceptual capability, granting the telekinetic near total situational awareness of the physical space around them, stopping only at a solid surface or the horizon. Remember, Agent, the official stance of the government is that any mancer that cannot be controlled or contained must be destroyed. While the telekinetic is an intimidating foe, one-way glass and windows present an opportunity to get close enough to engage without being noticed. Just take care. Your first shot is likely to be the only one you take. It's a rare thing to be blessed, cursed with. The heretic sight, I mean. Yet I find it comforting, and more importantly, useful in my work. Jorah Reviri, Fallen Priest. The magneticist is among the most destabilizing threats to society. While the telekinetic is possessed of a perverse sense of freedom, the magneticist walks through life with complete confidence that they cannot be contained. With their ability to perform fine manipulation of almost any metal object, no chains can hold them, no door can bar their way, and blades, bullets, and shrapnel cannot harm them. A telekinetic can be a dangerous symbol. A magneticist is anarchy personified. Combined with their unique ability to sense metallic objects within their vicinity, including concealed weapons, It is almost impossible to catch them unaware by conventional means, and an unprepared force will soon find its own weapons turned against them. Remember, Agent, the official stance of the government is that any Mancer that cannot be controlled or contained must be destroyed. The good news is that a large arsenal of weapons exists over which magneticists have no power. When dealing with such opponents, planning is everything. I can feel them wiggling inside of you. They ache to be free. Set your limits aside and let me show you a world of flesh, a world without limits. Dr. Edard T. Gray, government-sanctioned surgeon. The Biomancer is perhaps the most reviled of all Mancers. Purveyors of rampant mutation and body horror, the mere mention of one is enough to set the skin crawling. While their abilities lack the instantaneous destructive potential of the Pyromancer, particularly powerful Biomancers are capable of inflicting death on a far larger scale, producing hideously contagious, incurable plagues. They can also be an immense individual threat, stripping the flesh from their living victims to convert themselves into nigh unstoppable flesh abominations. The Biomancer can also be nearly as hard to catch as the Neuromancer, capable of changing their appearance at will. The only saving grace when on the trail of a Biomancer is their reliance on touch. If you suspect a Biomancer to be involved, do not, under any circumstance, let anyone touch you, no matter whose face they happen to be wearing at the time. And if a Biomancer has evolved beyond this point, wide-scale destruction may be the best option. Remember, Agent, the official stance of the government is that any Mancer that cannot be controlled or contained must be destroyed. When dispatching a Biomancer, do not merely inflict enough damage to kill. Destroy them utterly. The flamethrower is your best friend. Corrosive chemicals, your close allies. I gave them a second life, a life without pain, or want, or suffering. And now this is what you do to me? Put me down like a dog? Well, I'll rise again, just as they did. Wait and see. You wait and see. Anna, the Resurrectionist, Lovegood. Executed 218 RH. A lone necromancer poses perhaps the smallest threat of any Mancer. The problem, of course, is that a necromancer is rarely alone. They are best thought of as a supernatural phenomenon rather than a person. Grave robbing, strange disappearances, and unnatural sightings herald their coming, and when their hordes are unleashed, they can cause far more devastation than the Pyromancer. While their senses bear a passing resemblance to those of the Biomancer, their more overt powers are diametrically opposed. The Biomancer steals flesh in order to enhance their own living body. The Necromancer steals flesh to grow their horde, leaving themselves vulnerable. While the Necromancer poses little individual threat to a living being, they are an existential threat to soulmenders. Remember, Agent, the official stance of the government is that any Mancer that cannot be controlled or contained must be destroyed. Once their horde of monstrosities has been dealt with, a group of living agents should have little issue with them. Like with the Biomancer, it is advised, though not strictly required, to utterly destroy any remains. You're perfect. I love you. We are perfect for each other. Well, almost. I just need to tweak one more thing. Loverboy. Confirmed serial killer and Neuromancer. Currently uncontained. The Neuromancer is at once both the most dangerous form of Mancer currently acknowledged and the hardest Mancer to contain. Their abilities are simply heinous, granting them a sense of every thinking creature around them, and insight into and influence over anyone and everyone. Their actions generate no outward signs, no sparks or snowflakes, no floating objects, or telltale ping of a broken firing pin, no abnormal grows or shambling rot. The Neuromancer's domain is thought and memory itself, and only written records and physical media can be trusted. Remember, Agent, the official stance of the government is that any Mancer that cannot be controlled or contained must be destroyed. When hunting the Neuromancer, you are immediately deemed compromised. Keep detailed notes, make regular reports, and leave yourself reminders to review them. Any deviation from habit, any lost time, any forgotten occurrence is cause for alarm. When hunting the Neuromancer, everyone is suspect, especially yourself.